Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
His Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Shatadara Shri Srimad Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Skahod Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna, Gopa Gopinath, Shyamakund, Radhakund, Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Ganga Mai, Yamuna Mai ki Jai. Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Jai God Pramanande. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to those feet of Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Kalajanakinayine
Riyanna Kasi Purvasaha.
Hiranyakasipurvakshaha Shrilatankanakalaye Ito Nasima Parato Nasima Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasima Avai Nasima Hridaye Nasima Vai Nasima Hridaye Nasima Narati Amarim Charanam Prapadye Kanubrega Savalita
भगवान की, शुद्ध भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, समस्त गौर भक्त वृंद की, ऐसा गो सीता श्रीमान।
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the devotees that are joining us via Zoom, as well as the Philadelphia YouTube channel. We thank you for tuning in today for our virtual Sunday program. We hope that this is actually our last virtual Sunday program. We're anticipating starting next week, February 20th, the Sunday program will be back live in the temple. Starting tomorrow, actually, for Lord Nityananda's appearance day, we're having the program here live in the temple starting at 6:30. So please spread the word that the temple will be back open starting tomorrow and then every subsequent Sunday after that. You know, many of you are eager to come back, associate with each other, chant, have each other's, you know, being able to see the deities, you know, personally up front. So we look forward to seeing everybody back again very, very soon. Before we begin tonight's Bhagavad-Gita discourse, we're going to do a quick darshan of Srila Prabhupada and the presiding deities. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Parama Karuna Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki
Jai.
Jagannath Baladev Lady Subhadra Ki
Jai.
Most beautiful lordships, Shri Shri Radha Sharad Bihari Ki
Jai.
I'd also like to remind everybody that the temple room will be open for darshan tonight starting at 6 o'clock after this class. And then also every weeknight from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, the temple is also open for darshan. We're very happy to have with us tonight for the Bhagavad-Gita talk, His Grace Gokulanand Prabhu. Gokulanand Prabhu and his family have been very long-standing members of our Philadelphia congregation. He's a disciple of His Grace Kirtu Prabhu, and he carries with him a lot of wisdom and many years of experience. So we're very happy to hear from him tonight on our continued study of the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. Gokulananda Prabhu, I'm going to hand it over to you. And are you there? There you are.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, we're going to spotlight you.
You can hear it.
There you go.
Am I
Hare
audible
Krishna.
there?
Yes. Do you want us to put the verse up on the board? Up on the screen? Or were you?
Well, I don't have facility unless we have it. Otherwise, I have everything I need.
Okay, so you're co-host, so if you wanted to share your screen, you can do that. If not, we can put the verse up on the screen. While
You can put verse up on the screen. That would be better because I'm set up different way on iPad. And,
yeah. Okay. So I'll do that. And if you want to chant to start, you can begin your talk. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutave Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But today we're going to read from Bhagavad-Gita, text 440, Transcendental Knowledge. I think it's up on the screen, or otherwise I'll be just reciting it. Yagnascha asradadanascha sansayatma vinashyati nayam loko asti naparo nasukham sansayatmana. Yagnascha asradadanascha sansayatma vinashyati Nayam loko asti paro sukham sansayatmana. Word-to-word meaning, jnanaha, a fool who has no knowledge in the standard scriptures, cha, and asraddhadana, without faith in the revealed scriptures, cha, also, sansaya, of doubts, Atma, a person, vinashyati, falls back, no, never, I am in this loka, world, asti, there is, no, nor, paraha, in the next life, no, not, sukham, happiness, sansaya, doubt, atmana, of the person. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace, C.A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: by ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Purport: out of many standard and authoritative revealed scriptures, the Bhagavad-Gita is the best. Persons who are almost like animals have no faith in or knowledge of the standard revealed scriptures. And some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scriptures, have actually no faith in these words. And even though others may have a faith in scriptures like Bhagavad-Gita, they do not believe in or worship the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Such persons cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down. Out of all the above mentioned persons, those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. Man without a faith in God and His revealed word find no good in this world, nor in the next. For them, there is no happiness whatsoever. One should therefore follow the principles of the revealed scriptures with the faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge will help one become promoted to the transcendental platform of spiritual understanding. In other words, doubtful persons have no status whatsoever in the spiritual emancipation. One should therefore follow the footsteps of the great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. Hare Krishna. Ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurunmilitam mena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhestam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namah Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Rusabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Krupa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. But we are almost coming to an end of chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. What is this knowledge that we learned since last 4 to 5 months from our learned speakers? The spiritual knowledge of soul, of God, and of their relationship is both purifying and liberating. The Lord explains the remote history of Gita, the purpose and significance of his periodic descents to the material world and the necessity approaching to a guru and a realized teacher. Having said that, the previous verse 4.39, Krishna teaches us having importance of faith or intelligence. But in verse 40, he talks about the opposite, the persons who does not have faith, the persons with doubts. Now that's the other angle by which we can learn. There are 3 types of people: the ignorant people, those who have no knowledge of scriptures, no faith in the revealed scriptures. They don't even accept Krishna. Some even go and say Krishna's spirit is the one who spoke Gita. So these are the type of people Prabhupada said are commenting on Gita. Then Ashradhana has knowledge. People have knowledge, but no faith. They have no acceptance of Krishna. So they have knowledge, but they have no faith or no acceptance of Krishna. Well, then there is Sansayatma, one who has knowledge. He has a faith, but he is doubtful about Krishna. So again, there is something lacking. We are talking 3 types of people: the ignorant, so Ashradhanasta, and the Sansayatma. And we can see that all 3 categories either has a knowledge lacking, or a scriptures lacking, or a faith in Krishna is lacking. So naturally, we don't want to be one of them. This is not the category. We as a devotee want to have a knowledge. We want to have a faith in the revealed scriptures and come with conclusion that with intense and a great conviction that the Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Nayam loko asti naparo. This is extremely important, as we cannot make fit what suits us to accept the revealed scriptures. I mean, people have tendency, I mean, you can just look at the half truth, the half absolute, and that doesn't lead you anywhere. Because these are revealed scriptures spoken by a God. You cannot just merely make fit the way it becomes more philosophical, so to speak. So you come up with conclusion that with intent, great conviction, we go to Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, this is extremely important because, as we just said, the truth is that he is absolute, he is supreme, and who must be accepted in totality. He cannot accept just half truth. His every word in Gita is spoken for the welfare and well-being of mankind. There's not a word Hindu or there's not a word of Christian or anything. It's spoken for the mankind with the total clarity beyond the doubts and doubtful notion. It is the essence and nectar of 1,00,000 verses of Mahabharata, 18,000 slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18 Puranas, 4 Vedas, and Upanishad, all embedded in a powerful nectar of 700 verses of Gita, the song of God, spoken right in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. First and foremost thing Prabhupada said in Bhagavad-Gita is, if you don't accept in theory the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna, then there is no hope to understand or even observe Gita. So that's a first prerequisite. You must accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And having said that, if you don't accept it in theory, this Supreme Personality, then there is no hope. Well, fine. So it's trying to say that faith and acceptance of the Lord will again, if you have no hope to understand, then you will again fall down. Sansaya atma vinashyati, and be repeated into this cycle of birth and death. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukha dosanu darshanam. Such persons not only lack intelligence, but they are compared to animals by Prabhupada. Prabhupada says the animals are also eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That is that life cycle without intelligence, without knowledge, where faith is out of question. The intelligent person like to understand, who are we? Why are we here? Where are we going? Who is the creator? Or who is Krishna? Because to us the creator is Krishna. And what is our relationship with God? Without the knowledge and the faith and that understanding of God, there is no permanent bliss or joy or happiness in this life. There is no faith without knowledge. You cannot have faith without knowledge. You have to have a knowledge. Well, so scriptures, by just reading, are not conclusive, often not clear or considerably. You have to understand and acquire this real meaning to serve its purpose and to know God as Bhagavad-Gita. That is the best way, but this way to understand this is to go to a spiritual masters or the learned Vaishnavas. The battle in Kurukshetra, where the Jnana was revealed by Krishna himself to Arjuna, in a way it was all for all of us. Because the battle living through the Maya, every day to day, our living for battle, better life full of spiritual wisdom, of joy, of opulence, austerity, and happiness. Prabhupada classified people who has no faith are like animals, like we just say, because they don't have intelligence, no understanding between soul and super soul. They don't, until they accept, like chapter 2, which is clearly, that's where the Gita really starts. It's like other scripts somewhat, to get knowledge about soul and super soul. Many remain engaged in a sense gratification, which we just said. So you gain some knowledge, poor faith, but do not believe in Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not the way to understand and have a faith in Krishna consciousness. I mean, process of serving is well described by our Goswamis in a nectar of devotion. Krishna is all attractive, he's beautiful, full of complete knowledge and opulence, he's merciful, he's Purna Purushartha. When Krishna is pleased, we remain in Krishna consciousness and full of bliss. A stated opposite of faith is doubt. This is where this chapter is more stressing on the doubts. The people who are doubting about these different things we said about knowledge, about faith, about Krishna. Doubts in its proper perspectives are also inquisitive. And it's like intelligence, it's a talent as long as they are clarified. Very important to understand that as long as doubts are there in a way you are trying to understand something, you are inquisitive, but as long as they're clarified and convincingly resolved from the proper channels, from a bona fide teachers, bona fide spiritual teacher, that is. So, then when you understand and resolve from proper channels, then those doubts can be clarified. However, it should not be confused with the doubtful. There are people who are doubtful day and night. They just constantly, doubting everything we tell them, like they lack intelligence. They have no sincerity, no interest in learning. Often they are atheist, agnostic, arrogant, and hence no knowledge and have no willingness even to learn and gain knowledge to resolve the doubts. So this category of people can neither gain knowledge nor advance to gain faith. Good examples of doubts are also there. I mean, doubt is when you doubt something to clarify, that is considered, it's a part of knowledge. So there is a good example of Lord Rama. When Lord Rama, the Hanumanji, then all they were with his Vanar Sena, they were building the bridge to cross the ocean to go to Sri Lanka for a war. That time, Ram at night saw that these Manas and all these monkeys, they were floating the stones in the ocean with Ram Nam, Hey Ram, and the stones were floating in the river. So Ram one night thought that the stones are floating in the ocean on the water. Well, let me try it. So while everybody was sleeping, Ram went on the side of the mountain there where the ocean was, and he tried to throw a stone. And the stone really sank into the ocean. So Ram was really surprised that everybody throws a stone and they float. And when I threw the stone, it sank. He tried another stone. The same thing happened. And when this happens, that time Hanumanji was looking, where is Lord Rama? This is late night and he didn't see Lord Ram, so he went to look for him. And he saw the stone he was trying to throw, and Lord Rama saw Hanumanji and he called him. Hanumanji said, I know, Lord, what's going in your mind. He said, what is it? I was trying to throw stones. When you people throw it with the name, everything floats. When I throw the stone, it sank. What is the reason? And Ram clearly told him, the Hanumanji clearly told Lord Rama, look, the reason these stones are floating is only one and one reason, that we are taking your name. Who he takes your name, he swims to this ocean of Maya, ocean, any type of ocean. But when you throw it, whoever you reject, Ram, whoever you throw away, they will sink into the ocean. That is the reason, Prabhu. Your name has more power than anything else. So Hanuman wanted to ask him about this thing, and ultimately he said, whoever takes your name is able to swim across not only this dangerous ocean, but ocean of Maya. And in this ocean, whoever you reject or you dump, they will sink. And as we can see, the Lord was inquisitive about this attitude. So in this day and age in Kali Yuga, this raises important issues again as to where, how, and from whom to get this knowledge. How to clear our doubts. Doubts, fine. You have doubts, you have to clarify. Then how do I ask the question and get the doubts? So Prabhupada explained, come to temple or ISKCON centers. Listen and study the best scriptures like Gita and Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. There are many authorities like spiritual masters, spiritual teachers, and acharyas, and exalted Vaishnavas. And when you hear from them, and with sadhu sangha, the association of people who has the knowledge and a faith and devotion will lead you toward Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. Just chant and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad-Gita is a sound representation of Lord, says Prabhupada. He glorifies Gita as a transcendental sound, a song of God. Faith in the revealed scriptures diminishes our doubts. So as long as doubts are for clarification, they are inquisitive. But the doubts, or doubtfuls rather, who are constantly doubting everything, they are the fools. They do not deserve to understand this kind of spiritual knowledge unless they come in association with center like ours and with the teachers and the scriptures like Bhagavad-Gita. So it clarifies and convinces about doubts. Gita and Krishna's word from Gita and his name are all identical, none different from Krishna. We should sincerely study Gita, seriously follow it, and we'll be out of misery and be happy. Gita is a transcendental knowledge, not a material knowledge. If you put this knowledge in practice, you can cross this material ocean of birth and death. Gita has potency to free us from the material attachments. Faith cannot be possible without knowledge. Examples are, suppose you are like riding a car. Unless you gain some theoretical knowledge, you cannot just ride a car. You have to, that's why you have to pass a theory, understand it, how to press accelerator, how to press a brake, how to drive on the roads. When you get that theoretical knowledge, you pass that theory, then and then you are put on the car, you get up in the practice, and then that knowledge, you get the faith in driving and you start driving. So even simple logic, anything without knowledge, you cannot have faith. So Arjuna acted on the knowledge he received from Krishna. Chaitanya Dev says, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam Kevalam. Kalo nasti, eva nasti, eva gatiranyatha. Mahamantra is great. Preserve it to be in Krishna consciousness every moment and be happy. Something that is great, we develop and trust and faith, then that matter, it is our natural inclination. Something that is great, we develop trust, we develop faith. And what I said is that is our natural inclination. Faith, you have to study and practice, is the eligibility to serve God. Like in Bhagavad-Gita, text 1854, the Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati, sama sarvesu bhutesu, mad bhakti labhati param. One who is transcendentally situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman. and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is disposed toward ever-loving entity, and in that he attains a pure devotional service unto me. Krishna presents Gita to Arjuna, in fact, thereby to the world, who was bewildered in the battlefield, full of doubts. And that Lord clarifies the absolute facts, which is revealed in the scriptures. And in the whole Gita Jnana, he simply explains. Prabhupada says he simply explains the eternity, eternal beginning, that self-realization of a soul and a body. We are not this body. The body is constantly changing, but the soul remains eternal without a change. Even he says about sun and planets. He says sun and planets are moving in proper orbit at every moment. A few inches of movement, other than set by Creator, it can create a havoc in the world. A few inches away from orbit, it can freeze the world, and a few inches away, closer to the earth, can burn the world. He is the controller, and we are the part and parcel of this great Lord. As he explains in Bhagavad-Gita 15:7, Mame vangse jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana sastan indriyani prakriti stani karshati. The living entities in this world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditional life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. This is what Prabhupada says, the process of eternity. Process of eternity is the karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, and ultimately bhakti yoga, all very well described in the Gita. He said, Manamana bhava madabhakto madhyanjima namaskuru mame vaisyati satyam te pratijani priyosi me. Think of me, worship me, pay homage to me. You will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are dear to me. Then who is? Who he is? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Creator, is Krishna. Ultimately, he directs us on this spiritual platform. He teaches us all yoga and all types of dharma. Even worldly activities require the exercise of faith. See, Krishna says in this verse that the doubting person, there is no happiness, either in this world or the next. And so it is this ignorant that becomes an obstacle towards the knowledge of self-realization in this world or in the next. Finally, the person who doubts everything will also find that it is difficult to succeed in any activity or even gain knowledge. Now, to be sure, skepticism and inquiry is absolutely important. In fact, it is encouraged by spiritual teachers. But constant doubting without taking efforts, like we said earlier, without taking efforts to resolve those doubts, will become a huge roadblock in gaining the spiritual knowledge. See, Krishna also says that constant doubting is not just an obstacle on spiritual path. It also prevents us from living peacefully even in the material world, day-to-day life. Each time when we board a train or a plane, we simply have faith in a pilot or a driver. We don't go and ask him, show me your license. We don't go and ask him how much years experience you have. We simply sit in the plane and we have a full assumption that he is capable or he has experience or somebody has tested his knowledge. That's why we have faith in that driver whom we haven't even seen. So the driver will take us to our destination safely only if we trust people even in material life. So driver in a bus, or you go to restaurant and have a food. I mean, you trust the restaurant guy. You don't think chef has put poison in it or it will create some food poisoning We don't suspect things like that when we. So what do? If we constantly doubt the capability of these drivers and things, we will never be able to go and reach our destination, or we won't be able to do even our daily business. So hence there are main obstacles: ignorance, lack of faith, and constant doubting. Doubts must be removed simply by faith and trust, further resolved by experience and feelings. It says, Prabhupada says that the Bhagavad-Gita as it is a clear spiritual know-how. It is a science of Krishna consciousness. Simply faith and trust in revealed scriptures. Preliminary means believe by serving Krishna. Everything will be complete. Even Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 2262, it says, Saddha sabde viswasa kahe sutra nishchaya Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma kataya. Saddha sabde viswasa kahe sutra nishchaya Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma kataya. Saddha is a confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confidence and the firm faith favorable to the discharge of devotional service is called Shraddha. Sri Prabhupada explains the word Shraddha means a strong faith. If Krishna is shown bhakti, all works will be done. This is unflinching faith. Do not believe blindly. Try it. He says, scrutinize it. Scrutinize with arguments and find out that it is sublime. It is the topmost knowledge you can get. And this is why Gita, yes, so many will be perfect in karma, in a jnana and a mystic advancement to be in Krishna consciousness. Simply surrender. That is the knowledge. That's what Prabhupada says. Surrender to Krishna. After inquisit, after getting proper knowledge and faith. It is described Viswasa. Shraddha means Viswasa point. Basically, man performs karma, jnana, and yoga. Karma is a fruitive activities. That's for sense gratification. Like we are earning money, so-called for wealth, or better homes, better food, better health, better survival, and so on. And out of such million karmis, Prabhupada says, or Krishna says, out of millions such karmis, after hard work and experience, one gets to the platform of knowledge and seeks for knowledge as to why I am confused. What is my position? What am I getting? Why am I not satisfied with this joy and peace, these temporary things? Out of 1,000 who get such knowledge, now some wants to understand how to be liberated, get permanent joy, how to enjoy the bliss, the peace. To understand all these aspects, one should get engaged in Krishna consciousness, and that is the faith. Unflinching faith. And that is a knowledge, a stepping stone to that. By serving Krishna, he develops Krishna consciousness. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita 1866, Sarvadharman paritajya mamekam saranam vraja ahatvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Then one seeks for Krishna. He can now get the perfect knowledge from Bhagavad-Gita as it is. There are so many commentaries written on Gita. It is not that Prabhupada was the first one to comment on it, but Srila Prabhupada did is he put Bhagavad-Gita as it is, as Krishna said it, not what he meant or blah, blah, blah. So also, this is done from a bona fide Vaishnava, or when you understand this from a spiritual master. Prabhupada says Bhagavad-Gita as it is will reach you a 5 basic things for a perfect knowledge. Well, let's see what it is. He said, know the living entity. Who am I? What is God? A nature, a prakriti. What is the material nature? How human life is affected due to these modes of nature. Then he said the time. We have a limited time to attain this type of knowledge. Knowledge, the precursor for faith. Then the work. We do activity that leads to Krishna consciousness. So basically the 5 things I think we just were looking was to know living entity, know God, understand nature, prakriti, the time, and the work frame. So this all leads to Krishna consciousness. This leads to self-realization. What is the purpose of my life? Who am I? Part and parcel of God. Like ocean. A glass of water, when we take it from ocean, it has the same qualities as the ocean, the sea water. It's not different in quality, but in quantity is enormous, is unlimited. So to understand this analogy, what Prabhupada says is God is great, he is unlimited, he is infinite. Whereas my part, I have a tiny role to play. It's like a drop in the ocean, yeah? No one on the planet is equal to or better than him. Yes, we have his quality to control our family, maybe community, maybe company, or enjoy. But Krishna's opulence, control is the greatest of all. He is the ultimate enjoyer. He is the controller. And those who understand and realize this, then you have to accept the fact, Janma karma chame divyam yo vedi tatvatah takta deham punarjanma mameti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. One does not have to take birth again and again. You just become liberated simply by knowing the divine activities of Lord Krishna. Simply, Krishna is all attractive, is divine, is supreme, is infinite, is the great. And that is the knowledge, that is the faith, and that's the devotion. What is my relation to this God? He is supreme, he is Yogeshwar. Well, there's one good example I like to share is like the Dronacharya was Arjuna, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita. When you just accept Krishna as a supreme, he is ready to take anything, any blame for you just to make sure you succeed in Dharma. In Mahabharata, Dronacharya versus Arjuna, when Krishna sees that Dronacharya, his guru, arteries and all this, he is going to fight with him and sure he is going to lose the battle. Guru Dronacharya was far ahead and the only way he could be defeated by Pandava is with Krishna's help. And Krishna, probably what he did is, we cannot comment whether it had to do with moral, but just he knew that Pandava will lose the war if he did not help to defeat Dronacharya. And that's why he tells Arjuna and Yudhishthira when they were there that kill the Aswasthama elephant, and when you talk to Dronacharya, let him know Aswasthama is killed. So Aswatthama, he will be confused, the Dronacharya will be confused that, Aswasthama, he will take it as his son who was killed. So Yudhishthira was not in fear of all this because Yudhishthira was Dharmaraj. He was relying on the truth. His chariot was 4 inches above the ground. It can fly only because he was Dharmaraj. And he did not want to accept this instruction even from Krishna. Because Krishna knew Pandavas will definitely lose against Dronacharya. And what happened? The minute Yudhishthira did not believe Krishna, his chariot went right on the ground. That time Yudhishthira realized that I have to believe in Krishna. I have to tell what he says. All I am saying is, yes, morally it is not true that Aswatthama is killed, because Aswatthama elephant was killed, not the Aswatthama, the son of Dronacharya. So when the news came out, the chariot landed on ground, but Yudhishthira did not want to listen. So soon he realized that I must follow the Supreme Personality, right or wrong. And when that happened, when Dronacharya heard the Aswatthama is killed, he was down, and that's when Arjun showed him, and when Arjun had a arrow and he was pretty much defeated. So Krishna defeated, and Dronacharya was killed. So this is how sometime, even away from moral ground, God wants to protect. He wants to protect his devotees. He knows all devotees coming to him. It's like this Chaturveda Bhajante Mam. He knows those who are distressed, those who are looking for material prosperity, are money-minded, or those who are inquisitive, are curious people, and those who are advancement in knowledge. They are seeking for advancement in knowledge, the wise people. They are the ones who come to me. And out of that, he really knows that the people who are wise, who are looking to advance in transcendental knowledge, are probably the one who really makes to true Krishna consciousness. Sakam people, Sakam desire is a material opulence, like Dhruv Maharaj had a material opulence. Akam desire, transcendental desire. So, in the end, just a real conclusion, that Bhagavad-Gita 1578, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanundara, Tatra Se Vijayo Vruti, Tuvaniti Ramama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme martyr, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. And that is my opinion. This is how Sanjay concluded Gita by telling Dhritarashtra. This is not the sloka. Sloka was spoken by Sanjaya at the conclusion of the whole Gita. And actually, this faith, knowledge, devotion, all leads us to one and one thing, that we must have a faith in this transcendental knowledge, faith in this Supreme Personality of Godhead, and chant and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Any comments or
Hare Krishna Gokulanand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Vishnu Gadadas.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So you were speaking about
And
the faith. Yeah, my obeisances too. Could you review again just a couple of points that would really help us to strengthen or solidify our faith? I know you went over them, but just if you could just review them, just a couple of them, if you don't mind.
Couple points respect to
how to develop or solidify faith, because this the verse is about, without faith you don't get anywhere. So you mentioned a couple, but if you could just review those, a couple of points that would help to solidify faith.
Well, basically, let me see what's the best way I can answer your question, Prabhu, because one thing definitely is in the process of eternity, like we say, we learn from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Gnana Yoga, all this. And where Krishna says, Manmana bhava madhyabhakto madhyanjima namaskuru, mame vasyati satyam te pratijani priyasi me. So he's saying, think of me, worship me, pay homage to me, and you will come to me without fail. So when this type of promises are given by Lord himself, that increases your faith in Lord Krishna. He says, same thing, I think, I'm trying to more go by verses in the Bhagavad-Gita, is like, Sarva dharman paritajya mamekam saranam vraja, ahatvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma sucha. So again, that's another thing that I think that increases our faith in what we learn from Gita, from Krishna. It is revealed by himself. I think, is that the way I'm trying to answer?
Sure, that's good. So you're saying by applying what Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, you see the result, and that might strengthen your faith. Would I be correct?
Exactly, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Prabhu?
Any other questions? Oh, Ram Shyam has a question.
Yes,
Ram Shyam,
please.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, All Glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So this is for the comment, Prabhuji, and just for the realization, not a question. So it was really wonderful session, and you made so many points. Mostly you quoted most quoted Bhagavad Gita slokas. So it was really wonderful. You revised the overall Bhagavad Gita book itself. So in this lecture, so it was really good. You stressed on the unflinching faith, which Prabhupada always mentions. To develop love of the God, first thing is to have the unflinching faith. Then only there from it, everything develops. And you mentioned about the 5, like subject matters. So that was good. Isvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma.
Yes.
So it was really wonderful. And so that's what I wanted to tell Prabhuji. Thank you so very much for wonderful session.
Very nice. I mean, it's was common because you understand this particular prose is more on a negative side. It's just about doubts and doubtfuls.
Right.
So unless you use a revealed scriptures to answer the question,
correct.
There's nothing you can put philosophical in it. There's no philosophy here. And I think that's what Prabhupada says, that I am not here to teach philosophy. I'm here to teach you the science of Krishna. It's a self-realization. And how
very well you interlinked everything. So it was good for the basic level, and it was really good. So we enjoyed a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else, Prabhu?
Any other questions or comments? I don't see any. Thank you very much, Gokulanand.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I really enjoyed.
Thank you for taking the time, and I know you you prepared for this. It was thank you. I'm supposed to announce that tomorrow. So some of you know. Anybody know what tomorrow special day is?
Lord Nityananda's Trayodasi.
That's right. Great. Very good. The appearance of Lord Chaitanya's spiritual brother, Lord Nityananda, Brajendra Nandana J, Sachi Sutta Hoilose, Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Lord Krishna has appeared as Sachi's son, Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram has appeared as Nityananda. So the appearance anniversary of Lord Nityananda is tomorrow. So we're fasting till noon, and then there's a program, there's a class at 7:50 in the morning, as usual during the Srimad Bhagavatam period. And then the temple will be open tomorrow. The program is beginning at 6:30. There's Aditi, then a discourse, then Kirtan, and also Pushpa Abhishek, then Prashadam to go tomorrow night. And I think there's also, they had some, they sent out something, if you want to donate flowers or get flowers for, because tomorrow's also another day, not as glorious as Nityananda Prabhu's appearance, but it's Valentine's Day. So get Prashadam flowers to offer either to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or to your loved one or your secretary or whatever. You can order them online. If you didn't, they sent out a link to get those flowers if you like, roses and other bunches of flowers. So that will be also there. You can pick them up tomorrow if you want to order them. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.